어떤 낮에도 그대와 난 빛깔을 내게 가득 칠해줘요. 내가 더 잘 알게요. 이렇게 같이 있어준다면 Now I believe 라라라라 부르는 노래.
Hai korang. Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Aisya Sofea. You guys can call me Aisya and I'm from MCAAD 1171B. Today I will explain to you about my artwork as a student photography part 1. Let's go. First, I will explain to you about bracketing. Bracketing is you take exactly the same picture of your subject at several different exposure. The technique gives you a range of options to choose from when you are editing. For example, if the scene has a high level of contrast or you are just really not sure that your exposure settings are given in the right ballpark. This is an example of the picture that I took. Next, I will explain to you about panning. Panning is a creative technique that can convey a real sense of movement. Action photos. If you use a fast shutter speed to freeze a fast moving subject, the picture can lack some of the drama that was there at the time because the subject will look like a statue. But if you use a slow shutter speed and movement, the camera at the same speed as your subject, then you can get the moving subject sharp in the photo, while the background and any static object become a smooth blur. As well as adding a sense of speed panning can help you capture a sharper shot of a moving subject and focus the viewer attention on it. Next, I will talk about depth of field. In simplest term, depth of field is how much of your image is in focus. In more technical terms, depth of field is the distance in an image where objects appear acceptably in focus or have a level of acceptably sharpness. The wider the aperture or the smaller the aperture number, the shorter the depth of field. This is my depth of field that I took. Next, I will explain to you about height shutter. The height shutter speed means the shutter is opening and closing faster. The outcome is that your image will be darker and fast-moving object will be crisp and in focus. If you have a higher shutter speed, you can hold that camera in your hand without necessarily needing a tripod when to use a fast shutter speed. Anytime you want to capture a split second, mid movement or stop the action, you will want to choose a higher shutter speed if you are photography spot. You will want to focus on the person doing the spot and so they remain in focus and sharp, for example. Next, I will explain to you about slow shutter speed. A slow shutter speed can help you eliminate a darker scene as it brings more light through the lens. But with a faster shutter speed, the lens is open for a shorter leg on time. So, less light enter the lens that make low light a challenge and demonstrate the importance of a well-lit scene, such as the function that corrects this color issue is the digital camera white balance. Essentially, white balance adjusts image to make a white subject look white in the final product. By making good use of white balance, you will be able to manipulate the tone of your picture at will. This is the example white balance that I took. Another aspect of understanding color in photography is the theory of cool and warm colors. There is a bit of debate about where cool colors end and warm colors begin. But generally, we say green, blue, and magenta are cool colors, while yellow, orange, and red are warm colors, such as. Next, I will talk about hard light and soft light. Hard and soft light are different types of lighting that are commonly used in photography and filmmaking. Let's start with the hard light definition. This one usually from a point source and is directional example of such source are the sun in a clear sky at noon, a spotlight and a studio flash with a small light reflector far from subject. Next, soft lighting. The transition between the light and the shadows is more of a gradient and much smoother. When your subject is bathed in soft light, there will be a little to no shadows on their face. To do drawing with light, you need to use a long exposure to capture the path of a moving light source. Set your camera to manual mode and try starting with a shutter speed of around 30 seconds. Keep ISO as low as possible and set your aperture according to the style of shot you want. What do you need to use for drawing with light in photography? You will need a camera, a tripod, and a source or light. Light source can be anything from the sun or moon to artificial light like LED, sparkle flashlight, fire torch, or specialist light stick. A tripod is necessary to prevent camera shake during long exposure, such as this. Multiple exposure photography is a technique that involves exposing the film or your digital camera sensor to two or more sources of light, resulting in a single photograph that combines multiple images. If you remember, shooting on film or if you use a vintage film camera, now there are good chances you have shot a multiple exposure photo by accident. The result was probably an unusable overexposed mess. In the digital realm, there are three types of ISO: native, amplified, and simulated. Native ISO is the ISO setting that does not require the camera to increase the voltage to the sensor. ISO is measured in number, with lowest number being less sensitive and higher number of being more sensitive. The most common ISO value are 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600 and 3000. The lowest ISO setting or base ISO is typically 100, although some cameras go as low as 50 or even 25. The artificial light source typically used in photography are constant light, lamps, daytime, permanent photographic lights, hand lamps, and flash. Studio flash generator and flash gun. You can also do artificial light photography at home. Other sources of light you can use at home include lamps, backlights, and even your phone flashlight. You can even create interesting effects by using gels which can be placed over the light source to give your image a unique look. This is my artificial light that I took. Mixed lighting is a lighting situation where more than one type of light is present. It can be international or a problem which needs to be solved either on location or when post-processing. An example of an international use of mixed lighting is the use of strobe and continuous lighting together in a studio setting for special effect. This combines a long enough exposure to show motion with the frozen image provided by the flash. This is my example for the mixed light.
Line in photography is the use of line to create visual interest and convey a message in an image. Line can be used to direct the viewer's attention, create a sense of depth, and can even be used to create a sense of movement. Shape in photography is just what it sounds like, a two-dimensional subject or object captured from behind the line. Pattern photography utilize elements that are repeat. The repetition of line, shape, tone, or colors can create interesting image. The rules of third is a composition guidelines that place your subject in the left or right third of an image, leaving the other two thirds more open. Framing in photography refers to the process of composing a picture. It involves choosing what you will include in the frame and what you will leave out.